Welcome back to another episode of The Drive, guys. As you know, my name is Jacob. I'm from Toronto Auto Brokers. This is my podcast, and today I got a super energetic, young, handsome fella. His name is Connor. Connor is here. He's our special guest today. Super excited to have him, as I've had a chance to meet him in the past, as he bought a few cars from us, and he's now a client and a friend. Connor, welcome back to Toronto Auto Brokers. Welcome back to The Drive.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much for having me. Give friggin' Toronto Auto Brokers a round of applause. You guys do a great job, first and foremost.
I think you're doing a great job here, too. You did start as a bronze medalist. This is the third car you brought from us.
Yeah.
What cars did you buy from Toronto Auto Brokers?
Okay, so it started off, I had the Aston Martin, upgraded over to a Maserati, and then now we're here today to get a Bentley. I wanted to ride dirty.
Bronze, silver, and now he's a gold medalist,
There it
folks.
is.
Learn from this young, handsome fella, I'm telling you.
Awesome.
So, Connor, let's get right into it. Anything you're comfortable with sharing, anything you feel like you're comfortable talking about, a little bit about yourself, the way you grew up, life, education, anything and anything, nothing at all, little snippets of whatever you want. Talk to me, brother.
Totally. I'll give you a little bit of a synopsis. So I was always that kid growing up. I was a writer at a young age that I wanted to do something. I actually wrote my first book when I was in grade 6. It never came to life. It was called The Legend of Nova Fist. And so I had this dream. I wanted to do something. I liked South Park. I liked Dragon Ball Z. I liked all these shows. But it was always the same thing. You got to go through the school system. You have to be able to listen to your peers and teachers. They always kind of, I felt, push people down. And I was overweight growing up. So I was a heavy kid, hockey player. Wasn't that good at hockey. I was okay. And then over the years, as I started to get older, I went into martial arts. And martial arts, it was Muay Thai, the art of the 8 limbs. That's what changed my life. That was where I discovered my passion. I started to build confidence. And what I seen is I kept seeing all these guys on stage talking motivation, right? They're doing motivational speaking, guys like Bob Proctor, Tony Robbins. And I'm like, I want to be one of those types of people. And everyone's like, well, you got to be a lawyer. You got to go to school, get your MBA. And I just said to myself, well, what if I want to get into marketing, media? And everyone laughed, don't go to Ryerson. It's like Sheridan College, don't go in there. That's not a sustainable job. And that's how my life came to be. I actually started off my career publishing books. I did 2 books before the age of 22 years old. One, we make the joke, is called Mindset is Everything. Trust me, I wrote the book on it.
Yeah,
when you think about it.
For sure.
Which got me into the speaking circuit. And then that's where I launched my full career as an entrepreneur in the sales field and the marketing field together. So that's kind of my whole, that's my 30-second synopsis. You pick up the back of the book, it's right there.
That's pretty awesome, man. That's awesome. So, how did you start this whole business? You are the owner,
CEO, yeah.
Yeah, owner, CEO of Social Rise Marketing, SRM, folks. You heard it here first. Tell me, what brought that to fruition? What started that for you? Touch up on that, my man.
Totally. So we actually started a door-to-door company first. I was knocking doors for ADT Alarms with my brother at the time. He was the one. I worked at TD Bank, and he's like, let's go knock some doors. We can make a bunch of money, we thought at the time. And funny enough, knocking doors is tough. It is tough as nails. People are slamming doors. The baby's crying. You're trying to have some fun. Realized that wasn't for me at the time. And so I switched over my vehicle to the phone. So I started selling these big rubber tire blasting mats. When you're going down Highway 401, you see guys blowing up roads and rocks. I was selling those across the country. I got my name noticed doing that. It was funny. I go to these conferences in Texas and San Antonio, and they'd be like, you're that guy that calls me steady? So I was on to something. I'm like, okay, I have sales. And then at the time, around 2016, there was a guy named Ty Lopez that everybody sees online. He was the guy, I'm here in my garage. I got this new Ferrari or this Lamborghini, right? But you know what's better than that? Books, he would say, right? So everyone laughed. This video went viral. He started the agency space. He found a loophole in the market where young men and women could go into businesses where the older guys don't know how to market themselves through social media and use your cell phone. And that's where Social was born. I partnered with a few guys locally that I worked with at the bank with. That didn't work out over time, nothing bad. Some of them went to become realtors, business people, whatever.
Of course.
And then I partnered up with my now fiance that we came together and then grew it. We grew this into a big business where now our mission is we're growing the next generation of leaders through sales and marketing. And that's how it all came together. I've seen businesses struggle. They don't know how to market themselves. How do you generate leads? How do you get business, right? It's one thing to take a photo on social media, but we wanted to build in an entire marketing force that, one, we can obviously take the exposure and the content on social media, turn it into potential new business, and then that's where now we do the sales aspect too. So we can do market for you, generate leads, and then sell as well. So it works well.
That's amazing. You mentioned earlier, the teachers, kind of, more of a, I don't know how to word it properly, but a square system where,
For sure.
you got to go through step 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you'll end up in step 5. A lawyer is great in the courtroom as a litigator, but what about the rest of the day? What about the energy? What about, all day? It seems like you got lots of energy.
Lots, yeah.
You've mentioned Texas to me in the past when we first met.
Right.
And, so big things come out of Texas, and here you are doing big things.
Right.
So what was like the first thing that you feel that motivated you to be successful, and where are you now with the success, and where do you plan on going with the success? Like, where does it, where did it start? Where is it going? Where is it going to end? Hopefully never, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, 100%. I really appreciate that. I would attribute it to the martial arts when I was about 16 years old. I always felt like I had something. It was funny. I was sitting on a beach in Cuba one time, and there was this rap group called Lemony Fresh. They're actually from Toronto. They never made it, obviously, but this rap group, and I was inspired by them. I seen them. I'm like, wow, they're opening up for Tech Nine, Mad Child, all these names at the time. And I remember laying there on the beach with a friend of mine, 2 of us there, and I'm like, I'm going to write a book. And that was the thing. I was like, I want to do something different that, I stood for, my core values. And that's where it started. They laughed at me. They're like, go ahead. Yeah, for sure, Connor, when you go into school. So then I started to write. And I'm like, I want to motivate kids in the younger generation because I felt always at a disadvantage where, I didn't feel smart. I felt inferior. I was overweight. All these different things kind of went together.
You mentioned South Park Cartman.
I loved it. Cartman. I was Cartman. Yeah.
You were Cartman, man. I get
mouth.
it. Yeah. Love that show. We'll talk about that after.
Yeah. But that's where it was the pivotal moment, probably around 16 to 18, when I came back from that trip. I said to myself, I'm like, I want to make a difference. And I had a lot of energy. I was good at, I wanted to, the quote unquote you tell people is I wanted to help people. But they're like, well, you got to have all these degrees. That was kind of the stigma at the time.
Yes.
But I said, well, why can't I motivate kids? You don't have confidence. So martial arts built my confidence. Hockey, I was also a hockey player. I said, well, what if we got into a team atmosphere and just started motivating people? I took a lot of flack. I had people on Twitter and all over the place at the time. Well, what are you doing teaching in schools? I would go teach. I taught thousands of students all over Sudbury, was where I'm from. And all of a sudden, then I got picked up on a speaker bureau. So I got into a bureau with Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank, Conrad Black, bunch of random names.
Yes.
One of the guys from The Simpsons, the creator, was on that bureau.
Oh, wow.
But then I bombed. I got flown out to PEI for a keynote as a young entrepreneur. And then all of a sudden I go out. I came in super hype. Everyone was good and then just fell flat right on my face. 45-minute keynote, opened the whole event for, entrepreneurs. And then all of a sudden I came home. I remember walking off the stage that day. And I said to myself, I called my dad right away. I went right in. I had to get a flight out to go back to Toronto. And I was like, I bombed. And that was the pivotal moment of my life. I'm like, either I'm going to pursue this and I want to become an entrepreneur and I want to become a speaker and help people, or I'm going to go in and quit. And that's kind of how everything came together. I marketed myself from a personal brand perspective, which then tied into that marketing loophole where businesses didn't know what they were doing, found a way to monetize that and make money. And then it started to grow, built a team, got videographers, graphic designers, web developers, failed again, because you take hits in business. You got to learn, what is the right expectations and things. And that's how everything transitioned to where I am now, to be honest.
That sounds incredible. Honestly, your energy, my man, like the walls are shaking. I feel it. The cameras are feeling it. It's great. So let me ask you this.
Sure.
If we had to slow it down just for 1 second, I was like, hey, Connor, what's success to you? Narrow it down for me, but, elaborate on it at the same time. You know what I mean?
I think the individual approach would be being able to do what you want, when you want, whenever you want, right? That's the idea of what a success would be, right? Where it's like you're making money while you're sleeping, but it's not just about money, it's about purpose. So I think the greatest successes in life come from the fact when you get people around you, a community that is core value driven. Because that's the thing, I think a lot of society is not core value driven. They're not self-aware. So we don't understand ourselves and then we don't make the right decisions. So I would truly believe that success comes from the idea to truly understand yourself and better yourself so that you go into an environment, a community, and create something, right? Where it's not just, hey, life's all about me. The secret to living is giving. That's the trait I would say to everything is that's the secret to success is the secret to living is giving. People that are selfish are closed off. People that open their arms and give their energy to others and try to uplift them, That's the power. I put something out the other day that's super important. I would say is that, it takes one spark can ignite a whole forest fire. One spark.
Yeah.
So imagine if you were to walk into your life every day thinking that there was an opportunity to help somebody and grow.
100%.
That's the secret in life.
Just saying hello and smiling sometimes is a spark on its own, you know?
Just brighten my day up.
Yeah.
As soon as I came in.
Yeah, 100%. No, when you walked in here, I'm like, this guy, I love this
let's
guy's
get
energy.
some fire. Yeah.
And I was down. I was telling Danielle earlier, I'm like, geez, I'm just tired. It's been a rough week for me.
Hey.
Just getting over a cold,
We'll get rid of that for you. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
no, we're good. I'm feing, I'm fixed. I can heal everybody right now with
That's
your
what
energy,
it is.
bro. I love it, man. I love
Yeah.
it. So tell me, clearly, so I asked you about success,
Sure.
helping people seems to be like in your it's a part of your soul. I think it's in
Big
your
time.
heart. It's it's in your blood, man. So your energy is phenomenal. So
it.
now tell me, okay? So you've talked to us about your ups and downs. You've had some fails, and
Lots, yeah.
and you share, and you have no
Open, I'm
problem
transparent.
Yeah, no problem with talking about them. So what does it take to have the drive? The name of this podcast is The Drive.
Right.
So to all the young listeners, even some old bucks out there that are trying to restart their lives, what does it take to have the drive? What is the drive?
Two things.
To Connor, of course.
To me specifically, I would say two things. Is one, self-awareness, which it takes a lot of people a long time to discover, and the ability not to listen and to follow your intuition. That's the absolute truth, is that so many times in my life, everyone says, well, you got to listen. And I'm always respectful. No matter what people say to me or whatever it is, you're always respectful. But it's the ability when the masses and the mass amount of people say that's the wrong direction because they've never went down that path. So it's to not listen. To not listen to the negative noise that's going to drive you in the wrong direction. How many people would we meet in our lives that we shake their hand and they didn't follow their dream because their teacher said, hey, I wouldn't
Yes.
recommend that. Or even their father, their mother, one of their family members, well, don't get into that greasy MLM company. I'm just kidding, but the multi-level market,
Sometimes the people that love you the most are your
Yeah.
worst enemies and keep you down. They don't even know they're doing it because they didn't grow up in that era. They don't
Absolutely.
know about social media. They don't know about reaching out. We meet all these young cats here, like you, doing exceptionally well for themselves, growing, changing the world. High school dropouts, but more
Huge.
energy, more charisma than the doctor that you meet on a daily
It's true.
basis, the dentist or the
They're
lawyer,
service workers too. They're service workers. They don't have freedom. And I respect the physicians and what they do specifically, but a lot of physicians I meet, they're not business people. They're physicians. They help people for a living. They're very good in their lane, and that's amazing. Great for them. But when it comes time to sometimes you get political or you talk about business, they don't understand it. They understand the human brain and how people function. When business makes the world go round, like literally, you can say the medical system is a business in a lot of ways, where the pharmaceutical companies sell you on things, right? So that's the way I look at my life. Is that a lot of it is it's business. You're trying to get ahead, and then if you operate your business as a community and try to grow with it, that's where great things come. I truly believe that.
That's amazing. Tell me, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking? Just for
sure.
our listeners, they're nosy,
30, be as nosy as possible. I'm 31.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I thought you were 27, 28.
Yeah.
Amazing.
A little
Good
bloated,
for you.
It's okay.
Yeah,
give
it's
me a
all
couple.
good, my man. Hey, it was a long drive here. You probably stopped on the road a couple of
I
times,
did
right?
too, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, Burger Priest. That's where I want to go.
So, I know it's actually down the street.
Yeah.
Phenomenal burger. Okay, so look, you've reached a certain level at such a young age. You're a very charismatic young fella. Good looking fella on top of that.
Thank you.
So good for you.
Appreciate it.
So what keeps you motivated? What keeps you thriving for more? Clearly you're doing great. You're picking up a Bentley today, my man.
Hey, we're here.
That's huge. Ding, ding,
Thanks
ding,
to Mike out there. Yeah,
there you go.
I like
Thanks
working
to
Mike.
Tatari.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, what keeps Connor motivated? What keeps Connor so you're not an autopilot? What keeps Connor, going at supersonic speed and what's keeping you from not stopping or taking a break or just, hey, I'm comfortable, I'm making money, my partner and I are doing great, life is beautiful. What keeps that fire,
Keeps
ignited
it going.
in you?
Where you need the fire extinguisher every day to put it out, right? No, honestly, I'm going to tell a lot of people this, that people have the wrong idea when it comes to money. When you start making a lot of money, you become complacent. And it's not fun because it's not fulfilling. You can lay back in your chair, I'm making lots of money. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, I'm not fulfilled. The true fire of life, I think, comes from being able to go out there. What fires me up specifically is I know that, and I don't mean to be, rude for the audience, you're going to die one day. And I've went through some tragedies. My best friend was killed in a motorcycle accident at 26 years old, had same fire I have. And I use it. Like, I still feel him on my shoulders every day. Not as a negative. It sucks he's not here, but at least I had the experience.
He's the wind in your hair, man.
That's the wind in my hair, literally. And that's the big thing with those. I realize that, time is short. And before you know it, the younger generation, we think it's so fast and it's all good. But All of a sudden, I'm 30. Next thing you know, I'm going to be 40. And it goes that fast, so that I want to maximize the
Thanks
moment.
for the reminder, bro. I'll be 50 in
You don't
June,
look
but,
at it all. You know,
I don't
like,
look at the over 47. I appreciate
yeah,
it.
day over 40. Hey, I was getting 32.
For sure.
Come on. But that's the drive, is that I know that time is limited, that people, I truly believe, don't maximize what they have right now. We think we need to have all these great things. So yeah, I'm buying a Bentley today. That's great. But the Bentley is just, that's not my character. That's just something I want to drive. I enjoy that kind of thing.
You aspired to have a nice car
Yeah.
one day, and here you are having it. So tell us about that feeling. So I'm sure that, so you bought a Maserati here. You bought an Aston Martin first,
That was a
then a
good one.
Maserati, then a Bentley, okay?
Yeah.
What was the first car you ever bought?
The first car I ever bought when I was young was it was actually my father gifted it to me.
Okay.
I was blessed. I was really blessed
Yeah.
at the time. When I had a Saturn L100. It was like an
That car
L100.
doesn't rust, man. Plastic doors.
It did though. It's when I bought it. Your plastic doors
Different
are
kind of company, different kind of car.
Yeah, the little back piece. But I bought this little. It was like $2,000 or $3,000. This Saturn L100. And I drove that, and then I crashed it. And not funny, at the time I was coming across the track. I had these big subwoofers in the car. So
Yeah.
I'm half deaf now. Turning up the subwoofer,
What?
someone hit the... Yeah, exactly, yeah. I'm turning up the little bass knob, and then someone hit the brake. I hit it
geez.
into the curb. It is what it is,
I'm happy to.
I'm
that
okay.
you're
I'm in one piece,
Thank God.
Thank
Yeah,
God.
That's great. So, describe that feeling to me. Like when you first felt that you were successful. That feeling of when you bought the first nice car. I'm not
Right.
sure what your first. I'm assuming the Aston Martin was your first. Like
That was
high-end
a super-
car.
yeah, that was
Talk
good.
to us about that feeling. Coming to that day, looking at the car, finding the car, buying the car, driving away with the car.
Totally.
The
feeling was incredible. I was almost scared because I'm like, holy crap! Like this is a vehicle.
big
and a half.
commitment.
It's a big commitment. It was a vehicle and a half, and then the same thing. You reach the well, you shouldn't buy that car. It's not practical,
Yeah.
right? And I'm from Sudbury, where it's like we're driving
Yeah,
in
yeah,
nice
yeah.
pothole areas,
Yeah.
right? But I knew I was like, no, I need to. This is a status symbol for myself to say, hey, I made it here. I love James Bond, so it was Aston
Yeah.
Martin, the brand. I wanted to try something different. The feeling, honestly, it was a mixed emotion of like, holy crap. I would say a week in. Once I had the car for a week, I tested it. Like I'd never driven a sports car like that.
Wow.
Then I was in shock.
car
I'm like,
sounds insane.
it sounds insane. You would rev the engine on that. I'd be going flying down the highway. That's why my insurance premiums are high. You get a couple tickets here and there.
That's not you. That's just the Canadian.
That's what they
the
did.
Canadian government here.
That's what it is. But it was honestly it was a surreal feeling because it's sitting there. It actually shows you that you can bring things from your mind and bring them into the physical world. Where it's like everyone say, "Oh, don't do that. You can't do that." And then Mike brought it to life. I hit him up literally in the winter. We had a really good winter that year, not this year.
Yeah.
And then I went
It's been
in.
a long one, man.
It's been a long one. I came in. I got that in March, like March.
Oh, wow.
We had no snow at the time. So my door knockers were happy, but it is what it is. But it was an incredible feeling. I honestly I almost got scared though at the same time because I'm like, holy crap, big commitment, like you said at the time. And then once I balanced into it over a week, I was like, this is unbelievable. And then you get people looking all the time. They hear that engine. You roll up, no one has one of those, and it's fun.
Great feeling on a cold start. You're hustling, you're grinding, you're working, you're on airplanes, you're doing things with your
For
life,
sure.
man. You start that car in the morning, you hear that exhaust rumble.
Wake the neighborhood.
Wake the neighborhood, your neighbors, but it makes you realize, this is what I'm doing it for. Like something's like, what makes you like, not to be superficial,
Sure.
because you mentioned that's
I'm
not what it's
flashy,
about.
I like it, yeah.
But what's like, what is it? Is it the car? Is it a motorcycle? Is it jewelry? Is it a watch? Like, what is it that gets you like that one thing, that one shiny, sparkly thing in life that kind of keeps you driven, motivated, makes you want to buy more?
To be honest, business deals. Like
Okay.
doing deals. Like I'm a flashy guy. I love jewelry too. Like if I could, I'd be wearing a grill. I make a joke.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
have a straight
yeah.
up grill. Like I'll have a big rapper chain too at the same time.
Lemony Fresh. We're not just a rap group.
Yeah, where are they?
Wait,
Yeah.
we're not just a rap group. We're also a laundry detergent.
That's what it is, and it smells good too. No, yeah. But
Jeez, I'm amazing. I
yeah.
couldn't hold it in. It's been
Let
5
it know,
minutes.
hey,
Please
where'd
come
they
out of
go?
the mouth, yeah.
Where'd they go? They didn't
Yeah.
stick to it. Come on,
Yeah.
guys. If they're listening to this podcast, why didn't you stick to it? They're
Yeah.
quitters.
Well, now
Right?
they're washing laundry, bro.
Well, that's exactly it. I knew I smelled something. But
Lemony Fresh.
yeah, Lemony Fresh. But for me, honestly, like my biggest, I would say the high, right? The things you chase is I really like doing deals. I have a deal I wish I could disclose on this podcast that, I mean, I'm from a little community in Sudbury.
Yes.
And I just did a deal with one of the biggest companies in the world.
Wow.
On a little Sudbury, I'm from a little
Yeah.
northern town, right? People
Yeah.
that got to live in Toronto, LA, Detroit.
My friend, your personality is bigger than Ontario. You're
I
good, my
appreciate
man.
that. We have fun,
Yeah.
I walk in the room. I went to this red carpet event in Beverly Hills one time, okay? And everyone's like, I'm from LA, and they got the nice sunglasses, all this, and I just kept walking up to everyone. I'm the Canadian. Hey, how you doing?
Hey
there, and they're
there,
like,
bud.
and the whole room, they knew.
Yeah.
They're like, who the hell's that guy?
Yeah.
I just have no judgment. I don't care. People
My
judge you the
friend,
wrong way.
I understand that personality. I'm like zero filtered dad jokes here, 247 365.
good.
You know what? Life is hard as it is, man. There's a lot going on in the world right now. You gotta try to laugh, make people laugh, keep things light and easy,
Well, that's it.
So let me ask you this.
Sure.
Okay, we're gonna take a couple steps back here.
Absolutely.
So now that you're still very young, but let's go back a decade.
Okay.
Let's go to the 20-year-old Connor. Okay. What information do you wish somebody gave you? Like a little something 10 years ago, if they could have told you, just to give you some advice, a push, because it sounds like you were telling me that, it felt like the world was kind of pushing you in the other direction, right? Kind of working against you, right? What information do you wish you kind of got? What information could you share with our young viewers right now at the drive? Like
A couple
talk
pieces
to me about that.
Okay, so about a decade ago, I would have said, I'm going to say this again because it's unconventional, but don't listen. Don't listen when it comes to something your dream. If you truly believe in it, be respectful to people. I would say that find your core values. Understand your core values. I think that's one of the most important things that people they overlook. But actually understanding what is your core, because your core dictates the decisions and how you move, right? So had I been maybe more core value driven when I was younger, I think it would have contributed. I would have understood myself more, became more self-aware, which then guides you. So then with self-awareness, when you're actually self-aware, like, hey man, this is who I am, this is what I stand for, then it doesn't matter what anybody says because you're like, hey, they're living their life. A lot of people are confused, right? I would tell the younger generation that one of the most important things, I don't care if you listen to them, but read books. Honestly, like invest in personal development. That's the best, the classic cliche. That's the best investment you can ever make. That's what pulled me ahead was all the books. I literally didn't miss a day for 1 year. I read every single day. I have this huge bookshelf, all personal development, self-help, all that kind of stuff. Why are you reading that? Not fiction. It's like trying to better myself. Understand people. I always had an inspiration. Read people. How do you read people so that you can pull their guards down? Not to manipulate them, because that's what people go, oh, I want to use it to my advantage. Like, no, understand people and why they do what they do. And that's going to help you move properly in society.
My guess is that motivational books are your
They're my thing. I love them. Yeah, absolutely. David Goggins.
David Goggins. I was about to say, who's your favorite author? What's your favorite book?
Okay, I'd say, well, two of
And
them.
why? Tell us a little bit why. Maybe
Sure.
we can get some people to go,
For sure.
to Chapters and pick up a book, or Amazon, wherever you're getting books these days.
So besides Goggins, the best book
Library?
the library. Yeah, I haven't been in there in a long time,
Yeah.
but Amazon
You
now.
probably owe the money for a book you took out 20 years ago.
It's
Never
probably
paid
there.
them.
I probably burnt it. You never know. No, I'm just kidding.
If you like Seinfeld, man, great episode with the library. But
If
you didn't see it,
I
check
haven't
it out
seen
later.
it. I'm sorry to say. Yeah.
All good.
Yeah, the best book of all time for me, the one that changed, this was the moment, the pivotal moment. It's called The 50th Law by Robert Greene. Everyone knows the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. The 50th Laws with 50 Cent. Years later, I interviewed Robert Greene, actually. I got to interview him, sitting one-on-one. It was like my idol. It was crazy.
I'm
That's
not
the
much
one.
of a reader.
That's okay.
My nephew's 17.
Right.
He does Muay Thai. He does
Huge.
Jiu-Jitsu. He does boxing. I got to tell you, he's a
He's gonna be a
specimen and a
monster.
half. He's 17 years old.
Wow.
A few years ago, shy, skinny little kid, short. He developed into this man. He read the 48. He read
Laws
the
of Power.
50. Every time I come into his room, he's got books in his room. This kid
Love
was
it.
doing crap in school 2 years ago, horrible grades. My man, this guy, he's good looking. He trains. He lifts weights. He fights the toughest guys at his gym.
I believe it.
Okay, he takes on like the professional dudes.
sure.
He literally tells me, he goes, bro, I got my ass handed to me.
That's the best way to learn.
And he loves it because he's like, that's only going to bring me back tougher, that much better. You know what I
Huge.
mean?
I think that kid's going to do very good things.
No,
Right
he's,
off the bat, the way you described.
I'm telling you. And,
Right.
and I always rooted for him. We always thought he was going to be this quiet, shy little guy. This kid is a beast, and I'll tell you, he is reading tons of books. And the two books that you mentioned,
He already
I've
read.
seen I've seen on his, and he talked to me about them all the time, and he's always reading new books.
I got a book for him. My mentor, the one I've followed the most of anybody, is Tony Robbins. Some people love him, some don't. Awaken the Giant
We
Within.
used to watch him on late night TV.
Yeah, that's it. He's pitching.
When there wasn't social media.
Yeah.
You know?
That's the book, Awaken the Giant Within. It's like 450 pages. I've read it twice. That book changed my life.
He's been on Curb Your Enthusiasm. Do you know that show?
Yeah,
with Larry David.
Yeah, with
right?
Larry
The guy that
David.
did,
Yeah,
Seinfeld, right?
I haven't watched
I love
much.
that kind of comedy because it's real.
Right.
It's as stupid as can be, but it's real because
That's
it's
the way.
everyday life, right?
He's hilarious.
So yeah, but I'm gonna definitely. Well, he's gonna watch this. So
We'll
Blake,
recommend it.
Blake, you heard it here first, my guy.
That's it.
Anything else you want to share about yourself, and tell us what's next for you, and I'll leave it off with something else.
Oh no, 100%. You know what's next for me is honestly, I want to take in the people that have been at a disadvantage, that weren't accepted, that weren't able to do things in their life, and I want to grow a huge company. So I want to have hundreds of staff, hundreds of salespeople, and we're right on track to do that. We'll go over. We have 40-something staff now.
Yes.
By the end, we just signed 2 big contracts that'll put me over 100 staff. And that's what I want to do, is have this company and culture and workforce that brings people in. Not number one, they're making money, so they're providing for themselves in these extreme situations.
100%.
Through sales.
With inflation and the cost of things these days, man, it's hard to make $1 for sure. Or even if you make $1, when everything else costs $3.
That's it.
Yeah,
but that's what I would want to do. It's like I want to build my company and build the workforce and culture of what Social Rise is. And then honestly, give me about 10 years, I'm running. I'm going into politics.
Guys,
100%.
Social Rise marketing, okay? We know it's tough out there. Listen, the young generation, look for this guy. His name is Connor, okay? This is the kind of guy you want to work with. He'll keep you motivated. He'll teach you how to make money. I believe this. I'm not to call him a kid, but this kid is the real deal because his energy will never die. This guy has like that 15-year-old spunk, that vinegar in his veins. My man, you woke me up. I didn't sleep for 3 days. I was really down. I had a cold, a fever. But I don't want you to go, man. I want you to stay with me today, brother.
We'll be in spirit.
Tell us about the Bentley you're picking up today, my man.
Okay, so I just bought a 2015 Bentley GT Continental Twin Turbo. I've been looking. I look for cars that a lot of people don't have. Something unique that's not crazy price point. Obviously, that thing new is like $250.
Yeah.
But I'm getting a sweet deal from thanks Mike for that.
Yeah.
Okay. So the car that I'm going to be picking up, I like the brands behind it. Like, what does the brand stand for? What is the mission? Obviously, I'd love to have a Ferrari.
Yeah.
But where I'm from, it's not as practical for the amounts of years and how long.
My friend, you got potholes in Sudbury that will swallow that Bentley.
The whole thing, one bump, right? You're going down the street, right? But for that car specifically, it's a sweet ride. It's classy. It's classy, but it's flashy, but not flashy. But people, it stands out. Where you park that thing, it's gonna look amazing. I went and seen it. I almost fell off my chair, which I wasn't on a chair, but that's
So Ferrari, you mentioned, is that the ultimate dream car one day, or is that like another step to go to like a Pagani maybe, or to or a Bugatti? I don't know. A jet? What's in store for Connor, man? Talk to us.
Honestly, in my opinion, if I lived in Miami, I'd a Lamborghini. That's the one. I know everyone's like, oh, Ferrari's one example I would like to have, but if my ultimate car would be something like a Lamborghini.
My friend, if you're not the epitome of the word drive or driven, I don't know what is. This podcast was phenomenal, my man. I'm going to say goodbye because the cold medication is starting to wear off. I need to cough real bad, but I've been holding it in. Just telling you, I really appreciate you coming down. First of all, thank you for being such a loyal client to Tab. Clearly, we're doing something right to keep on earning your business. But the fact that you took the time to do this, and just so you know, I really hope this podcast goes viral. I hope your energy spreads to the world. I hope you take everybody that's sitting at home right now, not knowing what to do with themselves. If they're bored and they want to buy a car, hopefully they come to Toronto Auto Brokers. But if they want to start a career, or they need a motivational speaker or somebody to give them a little something, what's your Instagram, my man?
Mine's at LaRocque, former rap name, LaRocque. So LaRoqk.
Okay, sounds good. Anywhere else you want people to reach you at?
Honestly, anywhere on social media. Hit me up on LinkedIn too. Like, I'm pretty active on LinkedIn. Instagram's easy. Those are easy. Facebook too. Just type me in Connor LaRocque. You'll find me. I'm easy to find.
Guys, he's smart, he's handsome, and look at that hair, guys. Look at that hair. He's got my vote, man. I usually vote for Pedro, but today I'm voting for Connor.
Just want to say I really appreciate you guys. You're doing it different. I like the fact that you guys have a podcast and you're out here. Jacob, you've done a phenomenal job as well.
Thank you, my man. I really appreciate that.
So I just want to say thank you guys. Honestly, I appreciate it. From
my man, let's do it. So now that you're driving home, you want to pound a bottle quickly?
I'm sorry, let's do it. Yeah, I got a hotel down the street.
Joking, we're joking. We are joking.
My premiums are high enough, okay?
Yeah, that's it. All right, guys, God bless. bless you all. Stay safe out there. Connor, we love you.
Thank you very
Thanks
much.
for coming in.
Appreciate
And I'm telling you one thing, my man. We're not done because one day you're going to come for car
I'll be
number
back,
4,
yeah.
door number 4, and then we're going to do this again.
Hey, what's higher than gold? That's the question, right? Platinum?
You know what? Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know.
You know what? I think at the end of the day, whatever it is, as long as we're happy and healthy, that's the most important, and the rest will come. I'm going to connect. My nephew's going to love this podcast, man. He's going to be, I already read those books, bro.
I'm going to send you 10 others.
Okay, sounds good, my man.
All right,
Appreciate it.
Thank you.